My name is Charles Blevins, and you can find me on the internet if you're looking for me. I will be talking to you about what it means to me to have sight. When I talk about sight, I'm referring to psychic ability, spirituality, intuitiveness, and all kinds of forms. I don't get heavy into classifications or definitions of how to be psychic. That's not me, and that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is my ability to communicate with spirits or the other side, if you want to call it. You can use many different words. That is my main concern. Now, most people that I've noticed who have the gift, I notice that they have something that has happened to them, some traumatic event in their life that has triggered that ability. And I'm not going to say that that's the case for everyone. I cannot answer that question for everyone. So let's just say this is my opinion. And it's something that I have found more often than not. Now, let me break down what intuitiveness is to me. Intuitiveness means that you get a sense about something. It's kind of like you're busy at work and you were supposed to be home by a certain time, and something inside of you says, uh-oh, you're going to be late, and you look over the clock and you're like, oh no, and you're running around trying to get home real quick. That's intuitiveness. Intuitiveness is, you know something's off, you can't figure out exactly what it is, but something's nudging at you inside, telling you to react. It wants your attention. And I call that intuitiveness. I believe everyone has that ability. I think everyone has experienced intuitiveness at some point in time in their life. Now, I concur that some people may have lost that contact of using intuitiveness in their life because they have become so entangled in a material, man-made, or human world instead of a spiritual world. Now, for me, what happens on the other side is I use a combination of intuitiveness and many other techniques. I don't have to do anything special to connect to the other side. It just happens naturally. For example, when they want my attention, I feel like someone's nudging at me, kind of like a child in my ear going, hey, 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 and they just don't stop until I stop to listen to them. Now, when I listen to them, I don't necessarily need meditation to listen to them. What I do sometimes is I will do a form of meditation, but I've never had to use meditation to feel them or for them to get my attention. The meditation just allows the clarity to come in a little bit clearer, because a lot of times what will happen is when I close my eyes, I'm relaxed. The biggest thing for me is I have to be relaxed. I close my eyes, and then they start to play a movie for me. The movie is very interesting because it's not like a DVD player where I can pause it, fast forward, rewind it. It's normally kind of like a one-time shot. They run it through, I have to pick up. If they do replay it, the signal gets weaker, so the clarity comes in weaker and weaker each time that it gets replayed. So for me, being relaxed, and a lot of times I'll have a tape recorder with me, and I'll record it as I'm going through it. So this way I don't have to go back, because if I will lose information very quickly after that information is put down. Normally, the other side will stay with me until I deliver that message. The stronger the message that they give me, or the harsher the nagging that they nag on me, that means that the message is of a priority nature for them. And those messages, I will run up to someone. I don't care if they believe in spirituality and psychic abilities. That's not my decision, and that's not my concern, because the message is something that is grave, that they need to be aware of, whether they believe or not. And those are moral issues that I come in contact with. People ask me, well, why do you do that? And I go, well, most time those messages aren't from a relative saying, oh, let Johnny know that I love them. It's something more dramatic than that. If it's a message, oh, let Johnny know that I love them, I don't get that heavy naggingness, and those aren't priority messages, and those are things that I can let slide by because of they're not life-changing or dramatic to help someone out in their life. So that's one set. The other type of messages I get come sometimes through what I call energy feeling. In other words, they all come through energy, but my body starts to react. I get a really good sensation of happiness and excitement. I know something good is coming in the mail, a check's coming in the mail, money, something good is coming my way, and within a short amount of time, normally that day, within a few hours. And the stronger the feeling gets inside of me, it normally starts like butterflies in my stomach, and the butterflies will get stronger and stronger as I near that event of whatever's coming. Same thing happens with negative energy. I'll get a sinking stomach, that something bad's coming, and as it comes, I'll get even more sinking, and it'll wear off after that negativity is done with. That's another thing that happens. If it's something dramatic that they need to get my attention immediately, I'll hear a voice. I'll hear something like scream out, "Charles," or "Watch out," and normally something dramatic that needs my attention immediately. I've gone through phases that you hear things, or sometimes you'll see something. You'll see someone, and when you see someone, it's to get your attention. Smells. Sometimes I'll smell something that relates to that individual, especially if I knew them personally. Those are some of the techniques. Clues that they'll leave around, symbols of things they'll leave. So there's a variety of different ways that spiritually the other side tries to connect. I don't like the term sight as much, I don't like the term psychic as much, because of so many people claim to be psychic, and then they want to claim this piece of psychic and that piece of psychic and that piece, and I just prefer the word sight. Sight, if you look at the definition, it just means that you communicate with the other side, and I like that terminology, because I'm not sitting here saying that, oh, I do this with the other side, or I do that with the other side. I just communicate with the other side. They choose how to communicate with me based off of where I'm at that moment emotionally. They'll come across in the way that to get my attention. And that's the most important thing. For me, when I do readings for other people, what I find is if I get a picture or just a confirmation from them that they would like me to do a reading, not any information about what they're seeking out of the reading. I just don't like the information because of that leads me, and I don't want to be led. I want the reading to be true and stand on its own. So what I'll do is I'll take that person's name, if they have a picture or something that symbolizes them. I'll take that information. But beyond that, I don't like taking any information. I normally don't sit down and do a reading in front of people, and I don't like the term reading. I know most people are used to using that term reading, because I'm not reading someone. And that's really the wrong terminology for me, because reading means you're reading a book, you're reading someone. I'm not reading anyone. I'm just listening to the other side, or to the spiritual world, or through energy. So I would prefer a different term at the end of the day. When I guess I should say, when I communicate with the other side, they give me the information, and they choose the information that they want me to see that pertains to that individual. Then what happens is they'll give me some type of confirmation, some clues, like symbols or verbiage, or a couple of indications about that individual. And what I'll normally do is I'll ask that individual, can you confirm this for me? Can you confirm this? Is this you? And then what I'll do is I'll give them the recorded message, because I don't want to interpret the recorded message. And most of the time when I record it, I only get down maybe 60 or 70% of what they're actually showing me, because I just don't know how to describe what they're showing me. And it's only when someone comes back and asks me questions, or say, can you please explain this? And we start talking, and then I understand how those other components relate it to the message. And then I'm able to better describe the message in whole. And that's always interesting. So that's the reason why I always tell people, please contact me back afterwards, because there are little things that I will leave out, details, just because of it's hard to describe, or there's so much information that's coming across to me. It's like watching a movie and you're trying to take in all the different components that are going into the movie, and all the little details, and you're trying to record it as quick as possible verbally. And that can take a little bit of time to get that verbiage out of your mouth and on there, and you're already moving on to the next scene. And that becomes interesting at times. But that's what it means to have sight for me, or to be psychic. Now there's debate over if everyone can be psychic or have sight. I don't know that answer for sure. I do know everyone has the ability to be intuitive, and that's important to understand. If we all used our intuitive more often than not, our spirituality would get stronger. In other words, the intuitiveness would get stronger for each one of us, and that would be very important, because it would help us out in our daily lives dramatically, and make better decisions and choices. I've also forgotten another important part, which is dreams. When I have dreams that are spiritual, what I find interesting is they're notable dreams. In other words, a lot of times it's like you know how if you're like drowning in water and you're rushing to the top, and as soon as your head pops out of the water, you take a deep breath and you go and that's kind of how my dreams go. When I come out of that dream that they want me to remember, it's almost like I'm being rushed out of my sleep so fast that it's like I'm coming out of the water so quickly, and I'm almost out of breath, and I'm just taking that deep breath like and it gets my attention. I always find that interesting. Those details are just as clear as when I close my eyes and I do a mild listening or meditation, and they visually show me like a movie clip. But those are some of the different ways. It doesn't mean that's all the ways. It doesn't mean that's how it happens for everyone. That's just how it happens for me. My name is Charles Blevins, and yes, I do have sight. Take care.